Hi everyone, Eric here from Whose Turn Board Games, and in today's video we're going to be going over how to set up and play the game The Legend of the Cherry Tree That Blossoms Every 10 Years. Kind of a mouthful for a game, I won't deny that, but it's a very fun little game, very simple, rules overall aren't too bad, it's very quick. We actually really prefer this one just as a kind of a filler while we're looking at what else to play, so definitely would recommend if you're looking for something that's quicker and a little bit more on the easier to pick up and play side. You play the role of a geisha, and you actually end up collecting petals from this tree that will blossom every 10 years. Imagine that. The catch for the game is that the tree itself will actually punish you for being too greedy. So while you are picking up the petals and trying to make different combinations, if you are too greedy, you will fail at collecting them and basically get less points. It is a 2 to 4 player game. It really is about 15-20 minutes. 30 minutes max with 4 players, and there's not a whole lot of strategy, there's some luck, but for the most part it's just kind of a nice little relaxing game. So, that being said, let's get right into it. Now, the first thing you should know about this game is that it is beautiful. It's just gorgeous, and it's a lot of fun, really high quality materials, so really can recommend that, hands down. Each player will take one of 4 different backdrops. It is nice because the one side is just a painting. It is nice just kind of hide everything. They fold really well. They're kind of meant to really kind of hide what's going on, and I'll explain why in a second. But on the back, it does actually show specifically what is going to be going on for the scoring, so definitely keep that in mind. Now there's going to be 2 bags that come with it. There's going to be a clear plastic bag, as well as this beautifully crafted, I don't really know, it's kind of like a hard plastic on the outside. It's got the designs. Really enjoy that. Got all 4 players on it. And ultimately, that's going to be where all your petals are. If you're playing with 4 people, you will be playing with all of the petals, all the different colors. If you are playing with less than 4 people, so 2 or 3, you'll have to refer to the instruction booklet. You're supposed to take specific petals out. It's supposed to be somewhat random because then people can't really count petals, just like counting cards, but with petals. And as a result, you kind of have to just refer to that because it's just random entirely what it's going to be. There are set colors and then a few randomly taken out. So just again, look at the instruction booklet based on the number of people you have. If you have to take a couple petals out, you put them in a clear plastic bag and then you actually discard them and put them back in the box. You are not supposed to see what they are, so either choose someone who's not playing or just literally take them in your hands, put them in the box, face down, hide them, however you want to do it. You're just not supposed to be able to see them, so just a heads up there. The remaining petals that you're going to be using are going to be put in the bag. As such, I will be using all of the petals, and then very obviously shuffle them up. The last thing you're going to need for setup is going to be the mastery cards. There's 2 different sides, the blue as well as the pink side. I'll go more on one of these do a little bit later, but I would highly recommend, especially for your first couple times through, choose the blue side. The pink side's a little bit more advanced. Once all that is out, then you choose the first player. The book says the last person to see an actual cherry tree blossom is the person to go first. Depending on your geography, you might not have someone in your group that's ever seen a cherry blossom bloom. That's perfectly fine. I haven't in real life either, but you just kind of randomly select someone then. And that is setup. A very simple game, like I said, to set up. Very quick, very easy. As far as the rules go, it is a shampoo game with rinse, lather, repeat. Each player will take turns of drawing petals from the bag and displaying them to see what they have drawn. There are only 3 rules when it comes to drawing flowers from the bag when it's your turn. You must draw at least 1 flower out of the bag, no matter what. The second rule is that you can only draw a maximum of 3 times total from the bag. So even if you take 1, 1, 1, that is your turn. You can only do those 3 petals. That's it. The third and final rule that you have to abide by is you can only take a maximum of 8 flowers on your turn. So if you were to draw all 8 at the very first time and you do not break, I'll get on that here in a second, you can technically stop your turn at that point because you can no longer take any more drawing action. Now, as I mentioned with the breaking, you continue to take flowers out of the bag. You have to do at least those particular rules. Once you either have 5 different colors or you have 3 of a kind, you must stop. You've technically broken. So like for example here, drawing, I have now 7, but in the end I have drawn 3 pink. Therefore, I have broken, I have failed my collection. If I were to have drawn 6 and it was not a match in any capacity, I would have successfully collected. More on that in just a second. I did forget to mention, for all intents and purposes, there are 5 colors for the game. The 6th color, black, is actually considered a wild. So if you ever draw a black out of the bag and have it displayed, it will be a wild. More on black in a little bit because it's the only color that really has a special rule, but just want to let you know that there are 6 total colors, but 5 for collection purposes. Now, as long as you've not broken or failed, as they say in the actual instruction booklet, the collection, you continue to go until, again, those 3 rules, until you've drawn 3 times or you have a flower showing. You can at any point say, I am done, I have officially stopped my collection, and then you move on to the scoring. I will break down both of these real quick here because they both really about the same. If you fail a scoring, so that means that if you have the 3 colors, or that you have the 3 of a kind, or 5 different colors, you must return any black flowers to the bag, as you cannot score them if you have failed. You then take any 2 different colors of the flowers you've collected. As it shows here, there's all 5. You just take 2 different colors, you'll put them in front of your player's screen. You then take the rest of the flowers and put them back. If you've only drawn 1 color and you had 3 of a kind, you put the other 2 back, and you only keep 1 of that color. That is what happens if you failed. If you have successfully collected, as in this example where you have 6 out, you then do a couple of different things. The first thing you do is you check and see if you have met any of the mastery requirements. If you have, you then enact its power. You can only choose 1 of those powers. I will explain those in just a moment. Now, unlike with failing, where you have to only choose 2 different colors, you actually get to keep all of the flowers that you have, including any blacks. You choose 1 color out of all of the colors that you've drawn, and you immediately put them behind your player screen. The rest of the flowers you've collected will go in front of your player screen. Any flowers you have in front of your screen of the 5 different colors will get you points. The breakdown of it is again shown on the back of the particular player board. Each player shows on the back. The symbol for in front is this particular symbol. The symbol in back is this particular symbol. If you have no flowers in front of your particular player board, you get 0 points. If you only have 1 flower, you'll lose 3 points. That's right, lose 3 points for having 1 of that color. 2 is -1, 3 is 1 point, 4 is 3, so on and so forth. The reason for that is that you always will be taking flowers in front. So you kind of want to see what flowers you have that are going up front, and make sure that you have at least so many of them for scoring purposes. Black in front is a wild. It can add to any of the piles you want to add it to, so keep that in mind for scoring purposes. Black in front are wild. Everything else has its own set and does go by whatever variety of numbers you have in front of your board. For behind the board, every flower that you place behind your board goes into 2 different groups: warm and cool colors. The warm is the yellow and pink. The cool are the 2 different colors of blue. Again, it is depicted on the back of the player board, so for easy reference. Both white and black behind the screen are counted as wild, so they can be used either one. It's scored a little bit differently. Instead of however many you have, you place them into the 2 piles. Whoever has most gets the first player, whoever has second gets the second player, so on and so forth. When there's a tie for the points behind the screen, you have to combine the totals for the first and second place, and then split them in half. If there's a 3-way tie, you do the exact same thing. All 3 totals go together, and then divide by 3. Now, it's very important when you are scoring. Each player must declare what colors their wilds are going to be. You cannot lift up your board and then go, oh, you have more blue than me, I'm going to move my white and black to the blue pile. No, you must declare and commit to your wilds, however they're going to be, for behind your screen when everyone scores the final behind the screen points. And that's how rounds work. Each player will continue to take their turn. They will draw from the bag, and they will either successfully collect or they will fail, and then enact its rules. It will continue to go until the actual sack itself, the flowers are all distributed behind, either in front or behind them, and then you score everything up based on, the values of how many you have in front and behind. Now we're going to explain the mastery cards. The first one we're going to cover is going to be this particular one. It's going to be A, B, C, D. What that means is that when you draw out and you successfully collect, you have to have 4 different colors out of the 6. Black is included in that, just a heads up. So if you draw 4 different colors with 4 flowers and you enact this mastery, you can do its ability. What this mastery does is it lets you take one of the flowers either that you have immediately pulled or that are in front of your screen and move it behind, on top of being able to choose one color. The next one, double A, double B. That means that you have 2 pair of different colors. If this were to happen, you immediately take one of the chips or one of the flowers from the bag and put it behind your screen without showing anybody. The last one is going to be the 6 with question marks. This means that you had drawn 6 flowers successfully, and as a result, you are able to enact it. It does not matter what color they are, it does not matter anything, as long as you have successfully taken out 6. Now for this particular one, what happens is that if you enact it, the mastery, you are able to get 2 flowers from your bag. You do show everybody, and you can either, for each one, take them and put them in front of your screen, behind your screen, or in front of somebody else's screen. And you might ask, why would you want to put it in front of somebody else's screen? They could have no yellow in front of them. If I give them 1 yellow, they now are -3 points for yellow. Keep that in mind. It's a good strategy tip. If you want to sabotage somebody, that is the only way to be able to do it. It's really kind of the only interaction you have in general with this game, so definitely keep that one in mind. So those are all the blue versions of the card. I will now be going over all the pink versions of the cards. First up is going to be double A, double B. Again, 2 pair. If you were to get this on the pink power side as active, you immediately take one of the flowers either in front of your screen already or that you have already drawn and exchange it with another player's. So if they have several of a particular color and you want to try to get out of the negative or lose them points, you can exchange them. So they still will get 1 flower, but it'll be a different color, and you can take one of theirs and put it in front of your screen. You can only put it in front of your screen, not behind, so just keep that in mind. The next pink version is going to be the A, B, C, D. That's going to be the 4 different colors, one of every four different colors. If you get this one on the pink side up, you immediately draw 3 out of the bag. You choose to keep one of them and put them into the front of your screen. The other 2 go back in the bag. You cannot keep blacks. It does kind of notate that on the actual card itself. It has the black right there. As such, you cannot keep blacks in any capacity. They must always go back to the bag no matter what. Any other color though, you can choose to keep it. You have to keep 1 as long as there's no blacks. If they are all blacks, you put them all back. And finally, the 6 flower combination mastery for the pink side. With this one, if you get 6 flowers out, you immediately take 1 petal from 2 different people in front of their screen and put them in front of your own screen. They must be different colors, so you cannot choose the same color going to your screen. It must be different colors for each one. And that's Legend of the Cherry Tree. It's a really quick, simple game. We love this one. It's a lot of fun. Definitely would recommend, hands down, anybody who likes quick, simple games. It's not so much that it's simple, it's a nice little refresher, almost like a palate cleanser after playing like a Scythe or a Caverna or an Arc Nova, you know, where you're thinking a lot, you're really kind of planning out strategies and you're doing a whole bunch of stuff. So this is really nice, just like I said, a palate cleanser just to get something in between while you're going to something else. So if you want to follow us on our board game journey, by all means consider subscribing. We make content for, we do reviews for board games as well as how to play and setups, obviously, and then just thoughts on board games in general. So definitely check that out. We thank you all for watching. I've been Eric, and until next time, whose turn?